Hey y'all, I'm not about to wait for them to get in here. I'm gonna see what I gotta say because, wow, you know, I mean, me personally, no pun intended, I don't go looking for problems. It kind of defeats the purpose, of being a peaceful person, so that it can attract me. We're gonna get to that prayer point soon. You know, this praise and worship, we're supposed to talk about something else, supposedly. But yesterday, God helped me. How about use the right words? God helped me to narrate the message that I'm going to talk about today. Like I spoke about previously, I'll have channel messages, praise and worship. Every read that I do on this, excuse me. Every message that happens on this through me from the Holy Spirit using God, using my own discernment that God gave me. It's always pre-channel. I have messages I haven't even gotten to that I have wrote months before. But everything happens for a reason. I mean, maybe, in regards to life, we're not speeding up a certain energy when it comes to negativity. I'll have everything. What was I talking about? Sequential order, chronological order, whatever. What's the other taking it back, taking it way back to classes, right? It's not sequential order. It's another one, but I can't think of it right now. But you understand what I'm trying to say. But like I was saying, the other message, like look at all these, and then somebody will try to tamper with the energy, and I gotta, instead of doing this message, I gotta pull something from back there. Like it's very interesting. Like, but like I said, that message that I have, delays are illusions. God will really have your enemies thinking they're really doing something, and whole time they're not. Before I get into this prayer, I'm going to briefly talk about something. This dream, maybe last year. I had this dream last year, right? And it was turning to me because I saw a few things in this particular dream, right? I'm not going to narrate the whole dream, but I'm going to tell you, I guess, what's important in regards to what I got to say. In this dream, I saw the home of a previous best friend of mine. Somebody used to call best friend. But, I knew it then, kind of. But, when you're younger and adolescents, you don't know no better. But, as I got older, I didn't have to wait to the age of accountability to know that particular friend was not my friend. Didn't really do anything, embody anything of being my friend. That person was an Aquarius, and that person is a minority. And that's a whole topic for another day. But just knowing that you're a minority yourself, and it's so funny. People, there's so many things out there: colorism, sexism, what racialism, whatever. And then you run to people who's supposed to be on the same time as you. This is previously. This is not now. I'm saying it's just ironic, don't you think? It is so funny because that same person, um, wanted to shade me, was envious, jealous of me, but wanted to make white friends and Caucasian friends. Did they ever make Caucasian friends? No, because their personality sucked. They didn't know how to be themselves while being an Aquarius is so ironic. And I'm not coming on here to do praise and worship and start off with negative energy. What I'm saying is going to be an example in correlation to the prayers we're going to do today. Because I will literally ask God, show me what I need to know. And when I had that dream, I didn't quite understand what was going on. And it's been a whole year. And today, I'm figuring it out. Ain't no way. Wait. It's not your ordinary praise and worship. One moment. Because you understand the moral of the story. You got to understand the direction of where you need to pray in regards to your prayer points before you even just start saying anything, because you want to make it accurate. So, like I said, so I'm just giving that synopsis because I've seen this person's home in the dream. Now, this previous best friend is Haitian descent. Why is that significant? Because, just hear me out. It didn't show the front of this person's home. It showed behind the person's home. So that let me know that's like a point of contact, and it was showing me something because it's a stereotype, yes, but because if you see the front of somebody, they show you who they are. You see the back of somebody. So I seen the back of this person's home. This means this person was doing something behind the scenes. So if you're an Aquarius, that means you were using your South Node Leo. In regards to the negative aspects, this could be in regards to an entertainer, the entertainment industry, whatever, ego, pride, whatever. And then I realized I didn't even know it was Pride Month. Another topic for another day. So this person, so I knew the dream because even the embodiment of Aquarius has to do with friends and destiny. So that's just a point of contact in regards to previous friendships, what people were doing behind my back, supposedly, allegedly. Because although I seen that person's home there, I know what it represents. I know what it's symbolic of. Let me know that, all right, this don't exactly have something to do with this person, but it's like a point of contact from, learn from previous situation. Because while I didn't see that ex-best friend in the dream, although it was her home, I saw another previous friend in that environment within the backyard of this previous ex-best friend Haitian home. And it's messed up to say because, God's not just going to show you something to be stereotypical. Let's be for real. That's why I'm not saying the Haitian woman that I used to be friends with in my adolescence, necessarily was doing voodoo. I know the truth. But, certain Haitians do practice voodoo. But because I didn't see the Haitian woman there, God was letting me know that person wasn't the one, necessarily going to that extent. I just need you to know the logistics of what was going on. I seen that previous friend in the dream, the previous friend that I was friends with, I never really called her my friend. I kind of called her my sister when we were friends and stuff like that. But once again, a scenario where that friend was never my friend. And if I wanted to call her a sister, I'm not like everybody else. I'm not even gonna hold you. I don't care who you are or who you are to me. If you're an if you're an enemy, I do not care. I'll put you right to the side. Let bygones be bygones. Be gone. Every person I've ever dealt with knows my cutoff game is super strong. Once I don't care about a certain scenario, because it's not within me, I don't care what you do. You just gotta go. Like this previous friend, that's seen in my other best friend's previous friend house environment, whatever like that, the back behind the scenes, is a Virgo. I can say so many reasons as to why I'm not friends with this person. And I remember when I was angry at this person because, like, at first I didn't really understand what was going on. You know, when you get into it with somebody, honestly, I didn't even get into it with the person, the previous friend that I looked at as a sister figure. She she kept getting with me. And what was going on, I didn't understand it. Previously, I was the type of person where, um, friendship ends, I'll try to resolve it. But the one, two, three times, and I started realizing I kept trying to mediate and resolve situation, um, basically letting that person back into my energy when I didn't have to because that person was so stubborn that would not, no Taurus placement in their birth chart, might I add, but was so stubborn to, mediate, reconcile, like how I was trying to do. So once I realized that, I stopped reaching out and ain't been friends with that Virgo woman since. I remember, and after that, I'm thinking that was just it. But then God started revealing to me about that particular friend, and all the things they actually did wrong in our friendship. And I'm like, wow, this person is evil. They really had it out for me. They thought they was. They thought they was having it out for me, but God prevailed in my life. And this is before the American Heritage Society, you know created. I then got more into spirituality, so I was more of the flesh in this world. So when I really sent me these intuitive downloads, and I realized what was actually going on, and I already left this situation, I was waiting for the day I came in contact with that previous sister. Like, oh, when I say I wasn't like outside looking for this person, I was just like in my mind. I always told myself, I'm like, yo, because unfortunately for that person, we had ended up getting into an altercation, a physical altercation. It was, I'll tell you about it because I don't mind because enough is enough. There was a situation where I'm not going to get into everything because I don't want every single detail to be on here. But long story short, I decided that I didn't want to partake in, things that were not for my betterment. I didn't want to do the activities that she wanted to do and partake in because they had meaning to it. It was the same thing each and every day. While there's nothing wrong with that, I like a good schedule, but like I wasn't gaining nothing from it. For real, like on a life skills or not. Like it was just like repetitive. Like them folks that they want to sit around, hang out, smoke, drink, and while there's nothing wrong with leisure and everything like that, get into like trouble, knocked up, talking to people that don't got nothing planned for their life. You think I'm gonna sit around that? No. But instead of like having a conversation with her because I know the type of person she is, you know, I just continued to do my own thing. And while I was doing that, I started to sense that previous friend feeling a type of way. But I never, like back then, I'm not gonna lie, I was not confrontation. I'm not a confrontational person. I'm more of like when spoken to, or I say what's on my mind if I feel led by the Holy Spirit, led by God. And God, you don't gotta say a thing to her because I already know what it is. She already know what it is. And I remember one day that young lady had called my phone and was like, "Yeah, let's go do a whole bunch of nothing." I'm like, "Listen, I got stuff to do. I'm gonna have to, see you another time." This is what I told her previously, and she literally hung the phone up on me and got upset. As a friend, I said, all right. So in that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna, reach out to y'all with that girl no more because like, Because if I tell you the scenario of why that is wild, because she wanted me to go with her to go do a whole bunch of nothing. She was literally gonna hold you. She wanted the lady. I'm not high. This woman I used to be friends with, she wanted me to come with her to go do a whole bunch of nothing around men, and hang out. There's nothing wrong with females. You know, like how men be like, oh yeah, I'm about to go two men, and the guy his friends. One of the guys got a female, and the female got friends, and the guy got friends. They trying to pair up so that they can double date and stuff like that. She wanted to do something similar like that. Was in a whole relationship. She wanted me to go help her get more, because like, do what you want to do. Don't put me into this. She wanted to bring me into a situation knowing I was cool with her child's father. Or, well, let me not say cool with her child's father. Her child's father was very fond of me. Her child's father knows what type of woman I am, and knows I'm the only friend that was around her at the time. So while she was having relationship issues, she was going to go out. She was all out in the bopping, and that to each his own. You only live once, YOLO, I guess. That man would come and start asking questions. He going through her phone, saying don't even lie. I done read y'all messages, putting me in the middle of stuff that I ain't have no business to be in. Was lying to me about what was going on in her relationship, and was trying to get me caught up in a situation that I had nothing to do with. So when she hung on me that day, because I didn't want to allow myself to be around her while she was on her man, she got upset about that. I stopped hanging out with her for a little while. She decided she wanted to go thought and bob, or go be friends with one of my relatives to get back at me. That backfired, because then she told the relative, like, because the relative was dating the relative of her child's father. So like they was like dating themselves. So she wanted to double date with my relative. But when she was with me, she wanted to go out thought in the bobbing, even though she had a man. Are you understanding why I didn't want to be a part of that dynamic? And it's not about me putting people business out. There's a moral in all of this. Somebody needs to hear this. I don't know. So that didn't work out, because when she wanted to leave her man for one of the guys she was dotting the bobbing for, she tried to recruit my relative, talking about, yeah, she was gonna leave her man and she should join her and leave her and her man relatives with her child's father, and the relative was like, no. Why would it? She's like, I don't got problems like y'all and or whatever. And the previous friend of mine took offense and decided to tell. She didn't lie on her, but she tried to spin a narrative to make the relative look really, really bad. Now, I wasn't. That's all on my relative, because my relative was supposed to come to me and tell me the information that she decided, because I don't know if she was upset or whatever. She thought she was doing her big one because she knew that this friend had problems with me and she wanted to go befriend them. You see how karma works. So instead of telling me this really, really personal information that she should have disclosed to her brother, and told basically a complete stranger, because that wasn't her friend, that was my friend previously. And when I stepped back, you decided, regardless. And that person that I friends with went and took that relative's information and went and told not only my relative's man, but the whole family, to not only embarrass, to also try to get back at me. And I just remember my relative calling my phone crying, because it's like the whole family had tried to turn against her off of what somebody else said that they don't even necessarily like. when I asked that person, that relative, like, what do you want to do about the situation? She said she wanted to go handle business. She want to stand on 10 toes. I said, all right. See, this is them. This is not now. Previously, I should have not, enabled all that. But like I said, I was of this world. I was living in the flesh. So we went up there. Went up there. As soon as we get there, another manipulated situation. This is. Let me show you the type of common crew I had. My sister was like, she wanted to go fight that. Oh, I wasn't able to, but my relative, my sister, whatever, said she wanted to go fight the Virgo, right? That used to be my friend. I hadn't been speaking to her in a while, but I still thought we still was cool. We just was like, doing our own thing at the moment. So I call her. I'm like, listen, I don't know what's going on, but my sister said she want the fair one. She want to fight. She said, yeah, all right. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm thinking I'm doing concurrency because, like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be rude. I wasn't there. I don't know what was said. But everybody knows you the one who said something. We get there. Only came for previous for moral support. I ain't doing that no more. I went there to make sure nothing weird was going on. I went there to make sure everybody was good. I went there, what was supposed to transpire, and that was it. We get there. That woman come outside, that previous friend of mine, and my sibling was like, yeah, come down the stairs. I'm about to beat you up, da-da-da-da. Was talking all types of smack. That woman looked at me like, I don't want, she said, she gonna tell my sibling, I don't want to fight on you. She talking about me, she want to fight me. What? Got somebody else to ambush, lie. Whoever lie she told, if it was a lie, got somebody else to. I ain't gonna say what happened, but that's my friend. I don't fight friends. If I put my hands on you, we are not going to be friends no longer. She tried to sneak me out when I say it made me upset. But I was upset because of the situation I was, because how I was manipulated. I didn't think, that's not my friend in that moment, stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, this was a messed up situation. But, had somebody, attack my relative, whatever the case may be, it was just kind of like, all right, now you kind of forcing me to have to put my hands on you. I put my hands on her, but I didn't do nothing wild. I didn't do nothing crazy. I just, I did a little something to be like, all right, just stop. I didn't have the intent of, like, harming the person. I know that sounds crazy. I never had the intent of, like, all right, I'm a person till they bleed. I never had that intention, because if I really wanted to do it, I really would have. But mom, this is my friend. I learned, when it comes to, I guess, fighting, I'm never holding back no more, yo. I would be like, oh, that's my friend. Oh, that's it. Mm-mm. And plus, I'm too pretty to be fighting anyway. So that, I don't know why I narrated all of that, but I guess it plays a part in it. So that same friend, I'm just narrating this whole story about the Virgo. I seen her in a dream at the previous best friend's house. That was the Aquarius, was Haitian. Her back was turned to me, and then she went down to the basement of the home, and she said she ordered Pizza Hut. And if you know, you know. I wouldn't further explain that. I was like, I ain't touching that. And she ain't touching me. Now, I left that situation, and then when I say it was something going on at a distance, like the way, how people will be talking, like in sports reference, I believe in football, they like make a beeline. The meanest beeline ever. Made this beeline. It was so much on the background of the dream, like a whole bunch of hustle and bustle, I guess, was not. I was just tunnel vision. I heard something at a distance, kept going. I did not stop until I reached my destination, and there was a woman named Imani. And I don't know who the woman was, but the woman Imani was standing next to this tall man named Malcolm. I don't know who Malcolm is. Never seen before. Malcolm looked shook a little bit. Malcolm looked like he knows something, but he not saying something. He was standing behind the Justice Building too. Those two people, the Imani and Malcolm. Imani narrated in the dream to be talking shit. Don't know who Imani is. Don't know related to the dream. All I know is I put my hands around her neck and started choking her up. Malcolm stood there, watched, didn't say nothing. I wonder what the name means, man, because I'm like, who is these random people in my dreams? I don't know. Today. Now, I don't remember what Malcolm means. I remember what Imani means, and Imani means something about faith. I have came in contact with a few Imanis. In adolescent, I knew Imani, and very pretty girl, Latino descent. I think she's a lesbian now. Then I met another Imani in my adolescence, a guy named Imani. I believe he works in the police for now. When I was in adolescence, my first fight ever was with him because he called me a name, and I told him not to do that and to apologize. He didn't do that. I threw his bike on the ground and we started tussling. I'm not saying tussling on the tussling. Head up. It's that day. In other circumstances, I have told myself I will never. But just my first fight ever was with a guy. To this day, I'm not saying I'm proud of it, but I mean it shows or tells something. But at the same time, you know, and then like it was the fact that he was really like I pushed his bike on the ground. He decided he wanted to hit me. Obviously, I was defending myself. I pushed his bike on the ground, probably not. But should he have called me a bitch? No. But we kids, yeah, most likely naiveness. But in that moment, I realized, you know, he came like no funny. He came from a single parent household. So like it didn't occur to me then, but as I got older, because ironically we had reconnected, and when we reconnected, it wasn't like, oh yeah, we're talking to each other. Like it's like one of those situations where we had to be in the same room together and we would not speak to one another. And I felt as though it was because shame and guilt on his. I didn't really have nothing to say to him because we were older then, and that's when I realized, you know, how he possibly was raised. Now, his mother raised a pretty decent like guy in black and white, you know, in regards to, you know, education, what kind of career for he in now. But then, who taught that young man to put hands on a woman though? So it was ever since that. Then I realized like I don't ever want like to this day, I'm not an advocate for domestic abuse, violence, none of that. I don't tolerate nor condone it. Have I, you know, done things where, oh, provoke men? No, I don't do that. Like, not intentionally. I don't go beating on men. It's because I don't want no man to beat on. A man's fist and a woman's fist is completely different. I don't go look problems. But for whatever reason, for a good portion of my adolescence, I was around a whole bunch of battered women. So I've seen a whole bunch of different perspectives of how women are the agitator, men are the agitator, but men aren't supposed to put their hands on women. I've learned situations real quick. I don't want to be in there. There's nothing appealing to that. I even had a situation in April. You can go on the Patreon. You can see I did the protection spell and everything like that. Because this man made me so mad. Not the money, I'm talking about somebody else. This man made me so mad because he controlled his sexual urges. It was making me so mad. Like the taunting, the over excessive nature that he was in, all because he wanted to have sexual relations with me. That was making me so mad that I was crying, and he thought it was so funny. And the whole time I was crying because I didn't want my actual hands to harm him, even though I had all to do so. Because if I would have used my hand, like, I can't speak for nobody else. I'm one of the people I really believe, like, you might say this on the internet. I was crying because I was like, yo, if I put my hands on him, I don't know if I'm be able to stop. If you understand. Because, like, for no reason is one thing, but I had a reason. And then I'm just thinking, like, the whole time I'm thinking, like, I was mad because, like, the person was not worth it for me to be upset about. You know what? Anyways, then today, I get online. Well, actually, today I do my hair, right? Early morning, finish doing my hair, looking cute, whatever. There's been this weird energy of, like, somebody don't want me to be cute, get cute, whatever. And I've been feeling that for the previous week, so I said I was gonna wait till a certain time to do my hair, whatever like that. And it's messed up that pictures I can feel negative projections if somebody don't want me to be beautiful. And it's like, God bless me to be beautiful. There's nothing you can do. So I did my hair, and it was not for nobody else, just for me. Like, I had another hairstyle, I did for my birthday, but then I got a good idea, and I was like, all right, I want a ponytail. I'm like, if I want a ponytail, I'm gonna get a ponytail. I didn't know how I was gonna make it happen. I made it happen, like, literally. Yeah, I wanted it and everything, and that made me so happy. And I just thanking God. I was just like, it seemed insignificant, but it's like I didn't plan to do my hair. I didn't plan for it to be a ponytail. It came out exactly how I wanted it to, and like the ponytail is designed, everything, like, it looks good. So I'm just happy with myself. I took a picture, posted it online, went and took a nap, woke up, and somebody was projecting on me. I'm like, who is this? Like, who was projecting on me? Yo, and it was like, as soon as I asked that question, somebody from my adolescence, that had moved, had previously had on social media and stuff like that, right? She gonna tag me in a social media post for clicks and views, laughing, telling jokes about her own friend. I haven't seen this woman in years. Going to laugh, tell jokes about her own friend to sell her into prostitution, and she was like, ha ha, he, such a joke. And she was wearing like this crystal necklace. And so, like, once I seen that, I blocked the media because it's just like, see, that's the problem right there. I had just seen like this video online of they did an AI generated video of Halle and DDG with that movie, and we was like, Byron. I'm like, that's not even funny. Like, for what's going on with them right now, that's not even funny to even be doing. Like, I don't know what's good with people. Like, all right, here's the thing. People want, like, I have this prayer, right, that I do in regards to people who are jealous and envious of me, but they want everything that I have. I tell God in my prayer, and I'm gonna tell y'all because I guess it's apparent. Anyone who is jealous and envious of me and wants to be me, wants to be in my skin, wants everything that I have, God, let them go through every challenge I went through from the age I was born until now. So when I seen her do that, like, that joke in regards to friend trying to sell her into prostitution, and she thinking it's funny, and she's laughing at it, and she tagging me in the post that I see the amethyst and stuff like that. I'm like, all right. I'm the one saying amethyst. I don't think it was the color amethyst. I think it was like a purple white stone or something like that. I don't know if it's amethyst, but amethyst kept popping up. But anyways, in my mind, I don't know. God said something about some amethyst. I used to have crystals and stuff, but I realized very quickly that my energy was very potent. So I was just like, ooh, this is a lot. And God was like, you don't really even need the crystals, to be honest. Because it was a lot. The first crystal I even used was obsidian. And if you know, you know. But like it only took me like a month to get used to the obsidian. After that, I was good. But like I actually liked the obsidian. Obsidian was cool because it was bringing me information quick. Anyways, so once I seen the, all right, that was the hint, that was the tip from the dream. Because I'm like, who was Imani? I'm like, who is this Imani person? Faith. Faith. Having faith. The crystal. Spirituality. Faith. I'm like, oh, so this person you was trying to show. So God was trying to show me through the dream early on. Now, what's so ironic, this same person that I knew of in adolescence, but she had moved away like that. We had reconnected on social media. God was giving me signs about this person, understand what they was at the time. As soon as I added her on social media, it's so ironic. I was trying to like, God keep telling me like, don't go backwards, keep moving forward. Because I had people on social media that I had tried to get reacquainted with from my adolescence. And as soon as I came in contact with them, all this chaotic energy gone. Like one woman, she was talking about child's father online and how he not doing nothing for her, and it was what was me type of situation. And with empathy, whatever you want to call it, I made a comment. I'm like, I ain't seen nothing crazy. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm sorry to hear that for you. Because I would like, if I was going through something that I felt like I gotta post it on social media, I would hope somebody care. I guess I didn't have to be the only person to care, but I was just trying to show a little bit of empathy, whatever. That that person sister-in-law commented on the replied to my comment so quick, talking about she a liar. That man, she was like, my brother be taking care of them kids that pay for everything. She outside doing everything. She started going off, trying to mind your business. That. I'm like, I ain't even know. And then I'm like, so it occurred to me like to go. I never looked. That person never come up on my news feed. It was just that one time that person came up on my news feed. So I'm like, so who lying? So I went to go check the I went to go look into the person that I commented. I was like, all right, let me see. Let me do a quick analogy. I went on the person's profile page and I went on the sister-in-law profile page to see what was going on. The sister-in-law was telling the truth because I seen the most toxic social media posts on there I haven't seen in my life, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I unfriend that person real quick. I'm like, because that person that I commented on their post trying to, stand up for them, not only was lying, they didn't stand up for me when this person was like trying to attack me in the comment section. I said, are you serious? And then going to continue having a full-blown conversation with somebody else on there. I'm like, oh, no. Nah. I'm like, no. That person had to go. So the other person that had the crystal on that was making them selling into prostitution jokes, a few months ago when we got on social media, I started seeing them talk the type of posts too, and I'm just like, dang. I'm like, dang, God, like, do I gotta keep blocking everybody? Like, what is this? And God keeps saying something about like soul ties, like people trying to like attach to your energy, and when they shouldn't. And I was just like, I was going back, I was just like, I'm not gonna say I don't have nothing like in common with this person. Like, me and this person When I knew her in adolescence, we had similarities in regards to things that we wanted. Like she wanted to model, I wanted to model. Um, but when she said she wanted to model, she said she was um, going to go model in New York, and I was doing fashion shows. And she never stayed to do fashion shows. She said no, she got it. She going to New York. Um, when I was doing music, she befriended somebody that was doing music. Ironically, I had met the artist he was friends with when I used to work at 9 to 5, and we was like really cool and everything like that. But I stopped working at 9 to 5, and ever since I stopped working there, you know, she started acting weird to me, like we wasn't cool, whatever like that. And I found out she was friends with that particular girl, and I was just like, I ain't think nothing of it. That woman had 3 kids. That other woman with the crystal, she got 3 kids. And there's nothing wrong with having 3 kids, but ain't nobody married. I'm like, all right, so I guess that's what they attract. And then that artist that she was friends with, that stopped talking to me, whatever like that. She moved. She was like when she was friends with her, they would. She was like a big thing, I guess, locally and stuff like. She moved and she fell off, and now they not friends no more. And now they both got like 2 to 3 kids. And then now in this, I'm realizing like it's that people be trying to attach to your energy. People want what you have. People want to be you. Like they don't mind clicking up with other people to go against you, but it never works out for them because everybody got their own destiny. Everyone has their own destiny individually. So it's like you can't you can admire somebody, you can be influenced by somebody else, but you can't be another person. It's impossible. God designed us all in His own image individually. So I'm just like, wow. So when I did reconnect with that young lady with the crystal, talking about her, laughing, talking about her friend that sold her into prostitution or whatever the case may be, it didn't occur to me. All this didn't occur to me, but I did realize it was weird because as soon as I had her on social media, like a few days later, she got into like this accident. I'm just like, what the heck? But I ain't saying nothing. And even when she was talking about it, it was how she was responding to what was going on. Like she was mad at somebody else or something like that. And I was just like, huh? I blocked her today because I was like, all right, that was the Imani in the dream. One. So who's Malcolm? Malcolm is a man in the underground, underground musician as an independent artist. Before I was even doing music, this is when, in the time of my life, living the world of the flesh, I was dating. I didn't even recall who this person was. This person didn't look like this person in the dream. I only know 2 Malcolms. I only know 2 Malcolms in my whole life. One Malcolm I work at 9 to 5 with. One Malcolm at X11. The first Malcolm I used to work at 9 to 5 with. I guess that's what the whole choking up thing. There was a situation when I was supposed to I was training to be a manager at one of my 9 to 5s previously, and all I'm gonna say is we got to put some money to get to purchase something you know for both of us after work or something like that. But before we can even make the purchase, one of our co-workers at the time, I wasn't really with her or whatever, but like she seemed nice, I guess. She just seemed misguided. She came on her off day and was like, "Oh yeah, get you a good deal for what y'all want. I overheard that y'all want to grab a few things. I'm not on the clock. I can go get it for you. Just after we can give that poor child. Ooh, I don't want to say it like that. Ooh, we can give that child that money. She ain't knocked out early because I ain't worked that shift that day. I had other stuff to do, so I had changed my schedule. So when I clocked out and I realized she didn't get what we needed and was trying to run off with the money, when I said I was going to beat the girls behind, it was rage in my eye. I was so mad because I wasn't mad because, try to, finesse. I was mad because the audacity, like, first of all, your manager, second of all, the audacity. It was really the audacity. And then her friend that was with her, they ran out the store. And I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't even thinking. I ran. I was on because I hadn't clocked out yet at the time when I was working there. I think I was on break. I can break and then because I had to go get the stuff. Long story short, I was on the clock as a manager. Ran out of the retail store, chasing two young women down that tried to finesse me for some money, even though it wasn't just me, my money in regards to what I needed. And I was so tunnel vision, you know, I was running, trying to catch them. They were trying to go down these stairs. Wasn't thinking nothing of it. I was just trying. I was like, if I don't catch both of them, I know I'm gonna catch one of them. And one of them worked there, so she can't avoid me forever. While I'm thinking all this stuff, while I'm tunnel vision, while I'm apprehending them, I hear a whole bunch of footsteps behind me. So I just stop and turn around. The whole work crew, all my colleagues were behind me, chasing after them, ready to beat they behind on my behalf. These two young women. I was so humbled in that moment. This a lot of stuff I'm talking about sounds so toxic, but you gotta understand I'm talking from the perspective of living in the world, living in the flesh, and then tapping back into God and realizing what it actually means spiritually of the events that took place previously before. In the world of the flesh, I was going to chase them down. I would have had all these people behind me to help beat these people up for even trying to play with me. But in that moment when I realized, when I said, yo, do you know it was customers still in the store waiting to be serviced? Everybody from the back to the front, people who was off the clock, on the clock, all coming to help me. When I realized that, and then remind you, I said I was trained to be a manager. When I turned over, I could have possibly even cried in that moment. Because in that moment, that was kind of like a beautiful thing for God to kind of show me. Because like the money is cool and all like that, I was gonna get it back regardless. But for God to show me how many people actually supported me and continue to support me, when I said I stopped, turned around, I said, "Nah, everybody go back inside." I'm like, we are wilding. Because I forgot I had to place a word because of something somebody had tried to do to me and negative intent that was there working with me. I'm gonna see that person regardless. That person definitely did give me the money back. Woo! But I said all to say like I told that story. I told all that story, but like I guess it was for something there. So the guy who had put the money did get what we needed. He when I was working that 9 to 5 with him, um, I had dreams and aspirations. He had dreams and aspirations. And one thing I noticed about him, he was very influential. Like he had the gift to speak. He said he wanted to be a lecturer. He wanted to be an influencer. He wanted to give speeches and dialogues and stuff like that. It seemed like he wanted to go towards the path of being a politician. When I say years be changing people, your environments be changing, I don't know who that man became friends with because that man was destined to do great things. I came back in contact with that man on a few instances, like by random chance. whole hood booger. Somebody even one time I seen him out in public. Somebody confront him for stealing. I was so appalled because I was just like, "You're not the same person I used to know. Like, what happened?" I wanted to ask, like, "What happened?" But I was like, I knew better than that. I was like, "All right, I'm on my business about my business." Now the other Malcolm, ex-loving. When I met him, I first started making music. I didn't have my sound. I didn't know what I was really doing. But I knew what I was doing at the same time. But because this person was an independent artist, to be honest, I didn't meet him on the pretenses of all like, oh my gosh, I know you do music like that. I'm gonna be quite honest with y'all. It was at the time of my life. I was just like, I just need some sexual healing. What up? But I can be honest. So that's what it really was, and it happened that he did music. So I took as the opportunity, like, you know what? Let me see what he knows about the music industry, and maybe I'll learn something from it, whatever like that. Learned very quickly. He was going nowhere fast. But that's not the reason why I stopped dealing with him. The reason why I stopped dealing with him because the one encounter I had with him, he had, safety first, using protection. I noticed when he put on protection one day that he was not healthy. Stop messing with himself. Even though using protection, is going to not allow me to be sick like he is. It was just the fact, like, that's like, wow, like, for even me to see it, like, he ain't turned the lights off. Nothing. I'm not saying he should have, but it was just something for me to see. And then he started coming to think like venues that I was at and stuff like that. I actually got him somewhere on the. I ain't gonna get into it. He started coming to events that I was at, and then like long story short, the man had an issue with me, unbeknownst to me, that I'm just finding out today. Cause one, I don't talk to him no more. He's not my sexual partner. That Malcolm guy, and he jealous of me doing music. Sir, are you gay? Like, because ain't no man gonna be jealous of no woman. Let's be for real. And whole time I had this dream, I'm like, who's Malcolm? Who's Malcolm? Who's Malcolm? And I don't even care saying that name because, like, that's wild. Now, what I also learned from him when, we were sexually active previously, that from that one encounter, is that he's into Santeria. Yo, I just heard alarms just now. So, this dream I had all last year, that I've been trying to figure out who the person is somebody who possibly was doing Santeria in the background. Because they were so mad that I was making music and getting better at something I always knew to do. Or whatever reason, I don't even care. It's been an hour I've been talking to you guys. But excuse me. Let's get into the prayers. This message was made Friday, June 6, 2025 at 1:26 p.m. Something about creativity. Venus placement is very significant. Taurus, Gemini,